Thor Love and Thunder movie review. Let's get it. So I'm going to kick off with this movie review with saying straight out about I had a great time at the cinemas. It was fun-packed, filled, full of comedy, and it was colourful, and I really, really had a good time. Me and my missus and my son went. It was a nice family time out, so anyone who's going to go and see this movie, it's definitely one for the family. Where do I start with this review? Well, the movie was directed and produced by Taika Waititi, so you know what you're getting from his type of movies, his kind of slapstick comedy. It's a quite unique style of directing, if you ask me. I think you can tell his movies a mile off. We had him previously for Ragnarok, and obviously he plays the character Korg in the movie. The story arc to this was great. It's taken from the Mighty Thor comic. Can't remember when it came out, but if you want it as source material, go check it out. Mighty Thor, I think it has Jane on the front in the Thor costume, but pretty much the basis of the story is Thor is on a mission to try and find himself. Upon doing this and traveling to different places, he finds out that there's a person who is destroying all the gods, killing all the gods, which is Gorr, the God Butcher. And then obviously he sets off on a mission to try and find this guy, with the help of some of the gods and his regular team, try and track him down and stop him from slaying all the gods, because that was his purpose. Other stories within this is Jane Fonda, flipping out. You'll get that when you watch the movie, but Jane Foster, she becomes the Mighty Thor. You guys know this from the trailer already. I was quite a fan of the comic, to be honest. I know a lot of people think it's a little bit woke and not really too interested in it, but I thought it was a great story. And like I said, as source material, if you follow the comic, you'll get a lot of similarities throughout the movie, but they did it very special. So basically, we pick up with Jane years after we've seen her in the MCU. She's battling with stage 4 cancer, which is, I think it's terminal, to be honest. Upon doing this, she was entrusted with Mjolnir. Well, Thor had told Mjolnir before, make sure to take care of her. She becomes the Mighty Thor because she is worthy, and it brings her back to a healthy state, strong, powerful, speed, basically the power of Thor. But every time she wields the hammer, it makes her weaker. So there's that battle going on within there. And then obviously throughout that, you have side stories of the fact that you have the battle, the everyday life in New Asgard going on. You have obviously Gorr, the God Butcher's story, which his stories, they told it great, because from the comic I was like, how are they going to do this? But you still have empathy for the villain, which is always a good basis to have a villain in any movie. Unless he goes full out evil for no reason, kind of like a Darth Sidious. But he's basically, he is a disciple. He is a follower of a god, a lot like real life. And his village, his place of his home is destroyed. Well, it's not destroyed. Basically, they're in a drought for food and water, and he travels through the desert with his daughter to try and seek out help from the gods. And upon finding his god, eventually he realizes that there's no help. There's no help available. His god's a bit of a fraud. His daughter died in the process, and then they kind of just mugged him off. And then after that, he gets the Necro sword, and it's a sword that has the ability to kill a god, and obviously then he's after retribution to kill all gods because he thinks they're all false prophets, basically, and his daughter died for no reason. And then he goes on a quest, and then you get to Logheads. And I'm not going to give too much away because I do want you guys to go and watch it as well. But basically that's the story surrounding everything. For the visuals in this were great. Like I said, very colourful, but I expect that after Thor Ragnarok I thought it would be. There are parts, what you've seen in the trailer, what are dark, when they're in the Shadow Realm, which I think is beautiful. There's Easter eggs in this movie out the ass, so look out for those. It might need another watch, but there's loads in there. There's loads pertaining to things going forward in the Marvel Universe, especially with the post-credit scenes. 2 post-credit scenes. One gives you an idea of what's going to happen going forward for the character of Thor more than anything, and that whole story arc. And then the other one is like I don't know it's not as important, but it's a nice, I would say it's a nice post-credit scene, especially after the events what take place in the movie. I was emotional in the movie. I had fun in the movie. I laughed. There was a few down points in the movie where I wouldn't say the movie ever got boring, but with the kind of comedy that you get from a Thor movie and a Taika Waititi, sometimes they push the boundaries in trying to make things more and more funny, and then it just doesn't slap like that. And there was a few moments, off the top of my head, there was a few times between Valkyrie and Jane where they were trying to be funny, but it felt like that joke doesn't fit, and it's kind of not needed. Like if we didn't get that joke, I wouldn't have missed anything. Korg done his normal funny thing. It was great. There's a few surprise. I would say there's two not surprises in terms of a big movie surprise, but with Korg and Mig, there was two things that I didn't know. And when you watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about. And it doesn't affect me at all. It doesn't bother me. It feels a little bit forced. But then again, I haven't checked the source material to see if it was already like that. If it was, it's fine. But from what I got from the previous movies, those two things wasn't already there. I say from Infinity War maybe. Yeah, from the two movies, I wasn't sure it was there. Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder, I think that's what they're called. They don't even refer to them as that in the movie, but from the comics, I know the goats who were like they're like chariots for the boat. They had me laughing all through the movie. You will see why, but I found it extremely funny. I don't even know why I found it as funny as I did, but they really made me laugh. The Guardians of the Galaxy in this were great. They wasn't in the movie for very long. I would say maximum 8 minutes for their roles on screen. The Star Lord had more roles on screen than the others. For the small 8 minutes they were in, it makes me just, I can't wait for the Guardians of the Galaxy next movie already, just because of that. I thought Jane was great in this. She didn't steal the show in terms of take Thor's spotlight. She wasn't overly woke and they made her be something where Thor all of a sudden can't get help. Needs help. She was using the right parts. She was great. Her choreography in terms of the fighting style was dope. Back-to-back fight with Thor was dope. I like Valkyrie in this. Thinking off the top of my head now, it's a pride-filled movie, you know. Didn't bother me at all, because I'm not like that, but pride-filled movie. And I do wonder, just after Pride Month and when it was scheduled to come out, I don't know. But yeah, I thought that was dope. They kept her as a strong character. They made her be more like, I don't even know how to say it, like a boss woman type. Yeah, I mean, she's still called King of Asgard. I'm always going to find that weird, because to me, it's just naturally, if you're a woman, you're the queen, and if you're a man, you're the king. But I guess they were trying to prove a point and a strength. Gorr the God Butcher was dope. Christian Bale's acting shone through. You can tell that he's the best actor in the movie, a mile off. Just, they could have took his acting, and even though it wasn't much, it wasn't on screen as much as I thought it would be. You could take his acting in this movie, put it in a more serious movie, and it would fit perfectly. There's actually one part in the movie where he sounded like the Joker. He sounded like Heath Ledger's Joker to me. You guys will have to let me know if you watched it. Let me know in the comment section if you know what part I'm talking about. I'm trying to think if there's any parts I've missed. There was some cool callbacks to certain people. The way the movie, the last 5-10 minutes of the movie, the culmination of the conclusion of the movie was not how I expected it to go, but I really liked it. I really thought that this is the perfect way for Thor to finally have a purpose. Like I said, the parts in the movie that was sad for me, I knew was coming. Kind of. I didn't know. They kind of alluded to loads of different things happening, and then this certain thing happened, and it made me sad. I may have had a tear in my eye. I don't know. And yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. If I'm going to go for a rating out of 10 for this movie, as much as I had a good time, it's a great movie in terms of just having fun. If we're talking about like artistry and the acting skills and all this stuff, then it's not gonna be that, because Thor isn't made to be that. It's really based on how good is your acting skills in comedy is what it would be. And I don't want to overcook it. It's on par with Ragnarok for me. Coming off the back of it now, it feels like it's better than Ragnarok, but it's definitely on par. So I'm not going to go over the top. I'm going to give it a 8 out of 10. 7.9, 8 out of 10, which is a good rating, by the way. Yeah, because I can't remember what I give Doctor Strange, but I definitely liked Doctor Strange more, but had more fun watching this one. So take from that what you will. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what you guys think, if you've watched it already, or if you're watching this review, watch it, go and watch the movie, and then come back and let me know if you felt the same as me. Because let's be honest, I do the review for you guys, but it doesn't really matter what I think. If you go and have a great time or have a terrible time, it doesn't really matter compared to what I've said. So I've been your boy, the Savage. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. Run.